Hello, I'm Mark Beasley, the Deloitte Professor of Enterprise Risk Management and Director of the ERM Initiative in the Poole College of Management at NC State. Today I'm joined by Mike Somich. Mike serves as the Executive Director of Internal Audits at Duke University. He's been very instrumental in helping lead the enterprise risk management efforts at Duke. And it's important for everybody to realize that that includes not only Duke University, but Duke Medical Centers as well as the Duke Endowment. Mike, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
When you think about leading the risk oversight function at a complex organization like Duke University, culture is often viewed as the king in essence. How would you describe the support and the engagement from the senior leadership team in strengthening risk oversight effort at Duke University?
They're very actively involved and engaged in the process. We started with involving the senior leadership in determining the strategic risks. And then when we made the decision to move it down to the vice president level and look at the operating risks, we pulled them all together to talk about what process we were going to follow. And the president of the university came and kicked off the meeting, explaining why we were doing this, the strategic risks that we had, the benefits of this process, what he expected of them. And then he said, and Mike will facilitate the rest of the process. So he gave me all of the support that I needed to effectively move this forward.
So you have the support of the president. If you were to go around the leadership team across the university, who do you think they would think of as leading risk oversight at Duke?
They would probably say that I am, because I am the visible person who is facilitating the process. Clearly, as the Executive Director of Internal Audits, I don't own any of the risk, but I work with people to understand what those risks are, what the mitigation strategies are, and then help them communicate that effectively within the organization.
How frequently are you interacting with the president at Duke about what's going on in the risk oversight process? Are you interacting quarterly, monthly, or do you get together weekly even?
It depends on what we're doing within a particular year. At the beginning of the year, he and I meet and we talk about what are the things that we want to accomplish in the risk management process this year. How are we going to develop it more fully? In this year, 2011, where I would say, have engaged all levels of the organization in the risk management process, he is aware of what I'm doing on a monthly basis. We meet at least quarterly, reporting on operating risks and financial risks and compliance risks. So it's a fairly regular communication.
As you've rolled the risk oversight process out across the university, how have you communicated the importance of ERM at other levels in the organization to ensure they know that it's viewed as important by the leadership at the top?
Well, for instance, this year we looked at the academic risk, and each of the schools and colleges needed to prepare a heat map for their individual risks. They all report to the provost. He's one of the 4 senior leaders. So working with the provost, he sent an email out to all of the deans saying, this is what we are going to do, this is the process, Mike will be in contact with you to help you through the process. And that, again, support from the senior leaders set the tone for where we were going.
Mike, let me ask one more question before we wrap up here. If you were sitting at a different university or even a different type of organization where you don't have the level of engagement that you have from the president's office, what would your advice be? What would you do? Would you even try to go very far with ERM without the kind of support that you've had at Duke University?
I don't believe you can go very far without that support. The president or the CEO sets the tone for the organization. And if he walks the walk and talks the talk, other people will as well.
Thank you, Mike, for being here today. For our audience, I'd like to remind you of our ERM Initiative website, where we have loads of articles, thought papers, other kinds of guidance that you might find useful and relevant to many of the issues we've talked about today. Most specifically, there are several articles dealing with the topic of culture and its role in influencing the launch of an ERM process. So I'd encourage you to take advantage of these resources that are all searchable on that website. Thank you.